My house felt like winter this morning. It did. I actually don't think my heat is working, but, we're going to figure that out. But it was down to like 54.
Yeah, chilly out there.
Yeah, it was chilly. Yeah, play stuffed with meat, too. Got all the meat ready for the winter. Yeah, it's going to be a chilly one again tonight. And some of the suburbs back into the 30s. It's sometimes called the hunter's moon in October, and sometimes it's the harvest moon. It's the full moon closest to the equinox that we call it the hunter's moon. So
the more you know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'd like to have some rain, maybe not this weekend, but our rainfall departures are over 9 inches, maybe 8 inches in some cases. This is going back at least 3 to 6 months. So this, again, the drought you can't see. This is all green out there. Things look fine. But then you look into it a little bit deeper. Ponds are a little low. Some of the reservoirs, too. The Cambridge Reservoir is low. And that is seasonal, too. They drop it a little bit before winter. But also, stream flows are low. So we could use a little bit of water before we get into wintertime, get the stores up. Temperatures are in the 50s now. It's a beautiful evening. We have a few high clouds from our storm offshore. We're back into the mid-50s in Sudbury. Look at the temps across southern New Hampshire, Nashua at 56 degrees. So some folks did climb out of the 30s and get to reasonable levels this afternoon. The breezes will stay with us along the coastline, and we will see a sea breeze again tomorrow. Now, tonight, we haven't exhausted the cold air just yet. I mean, some spots may still see another frost, but it's not as cold as last night. Our numbers will fall back into the low 30s and mid 30s in the suburbs. Certainly in some of the coldest spots, maybe in southwestern New Hampshire, outermost Route 2, you could be in the upper 20s. These temperatures can be a little surprising, too. It's typically one of those cases where it's like, oh, yeah, it's warming up. We're going to have a not so cold night. And then those numbers keep falling through the night because the air mass really hasn't changed out completely. There's our ocean storm bringing us the high clouds. Here's your warm up. Plain as day, right? Crystal clear. You're going to be seeing that warm air as early as tomorrow. Some of the suburbs will climb up near 60. The winds are a little brisk on Cape Cod and the islands, over 20 miles an hour. If we inspect that a little bit further, you can see some gusts go over 30 miles an hour later tonight and into tomorrow morning, too. We're holding strong, literally, down through Barnstable, and some of those gusts could be working up to the South Shore first thing tomorrow. But the storm pulls away, so the wind should ease a little bit in the afternoon. Let's look at the high temperatures. You're warmest away from the coast, and when we say that, it's away from Salem, from North Reading, Lawrence, Billerica, all the way to Acton. We should be in the lower 60s. That's not too bad. Boston and Winthrop about 59. There's our sea breeze, very evident. And then back through Worcester, temps in the lower 60s. Spencer, 64, 63 in Rutland. South Shore, great leaves here, too. Some good colors showing up through Dedham and down into Attleboro with low 60s tomorrow. And even Cape Cod climbing up close to 60, but I don't want to really promise a whole lot on the Cape. Saturday, 68, and then Sunday, milder and 71. All right, the head of the Charles on Saturday, about 70 degrees. Where's that wind? Out of the southwest now. So tomorrow, first day ahead of the Charles, the wind should be northeasterly. But both days feature sunshine, and Sunday will be in the low 70s. Speaking of things near the rivers and oceans, well, the minor flooding is coming up because of that hunter's moon. And it is because, too, it's so close to orbit into the Earth here. So that's why we're pulling on that tide a little bit more, too, the supermoon. High tide Friday and Saturday, noon and 1 p.m. Splash over Morrissey Boulevard. That looks like it'll go underwater. Maybe the Harbor Walk, too, has water lapping, or at least flooding, maybe. Very minor, but still significant, enough to note. And the temperatures stay warm all the way into next week. There may be a little bit of a dip here on Tuesday. Guidance shows that. Some cooler air or maybe even a sea breeze, but then we bounce back again on Wednesday with more southwesterly winds. And there's an end game to this. It's called a front on Thursday. And early showers possible, temperature in the 60s. And then thereafter, we're a little bit more October-like, but we still are sunny. I mean, even with those showers on Thursday, that's not busting a drought, that's for sure. But it will be a little bit wet to start the day.